Okay, I was going to do this originally about over a month ago, and I guess it's probably the best time to do this now because it's literally next weekend now will be WrestleMania 41 uh, over in Vegas. It's a two-night match card, and it feels quite long now. I mean, since January, it just feels like forever. Eventually getting here now. Um, but we have um, so far um, altogether 13 matches between the both nights. Um, Night one, which is the 19th of April, have 7 matches, and then the 20th of April has 6 matches. I think another match will add on to that for Randy Orton's mystery opponent. I'll get into that, but I'll just light this first. I just want to sort of give my overall analysis of the Road to WrestleMania season this year because it's pretty much over now. I know next week will be the go home uh, episodes of Raw and SmackDown before WrestleMania, but um, this year's WrestleMania season and also just the card itself this year, it's simply overall disappointing. It's it just seems to feel like this year it's very underwhelming and unexciting. Now, when I say that, I'm referring to just the overall Road to WrestleMania season, the storylines, and all the rivalries shaping up for um, the matches. There's obviously going to be some interest of here and there, but just the entire thing is just doesn't sort of spark any interest, and it just feels very underwhelming. And I guess what I have to sort of start off with is the storytelling. Um, it seems to be that since obviously new ownership and I guess new leadership since the old man has been gone now for over a year due to legal issues. Um, Paul Triple H Levesque, um, give him a benefit of doubt. This is kind of his first WrestleMania um, by himself, materializing it. I wouldn't count him having too much. Well, he has some sort of creative sway for WrestleMania 40 last year, but probably the bulk of that card and the storylines have already been sort of penned in, uh, leading up to the old man um, getting a sack in that January. But it seems to be that the deliverance of um, the angles is very, very bad. Some of the promos, the material in it is so bad. Like even just hearing the promos of some of these talents is just so god awful. I just literally skip it. Like most weeks now, I have just been sort of looking through the highlights, the YouTube clips, and I'm just like, man, I'm not interested. Not interested. I'll watch that. I'll watch that. Because years ago, I would have watched majority of every single clip, every single thing that's happening, and every single storyline. Like the delivering of um, like obviously the main event this year will be Cody Rhodes versus John Cena, but like I just feel that that's just sort of a big money shoehorn match that's been sort of put together, um, and it's kind of sold out to be John Cena's greatest heel turn whenever he beat down Cody Rhodes at the Elimination Chamber at the end of the Elimination Chamber event last month. Uh, because after that, there leading up to it, like Cody Rhodes is going to make a decision: is he going to sell his soul to The Rock, or is he just going to be a loyal champion to the fans? And like literally live, they're just a one-off, you know, not bleep it out, just something to really sell hard for the story. Hey Rock, go fuck yourself, and everyone just reacted and like unbelievable, big cheers, whatever, and then he gets a beat down by Cena, and Cena literally is like sold himself to The Rock, and like this is what I mean by like the deliverance, just like the promo quality. Like Cody Rhodes gets beat up, but then the following week he comes out and you see like some of the wounds. Like I think he had like some big shiner and a few bit of scratches here and there. But he's just like, "Do you want some? Come get some." I'm like, "Dude, you've already got your ass handed." I was like, it doesn't make sense. And then you had Cena not really showing up until like the following week, and then there's no Rock. Rock by this time is no longer involved with anything. So like we've had ever since Rock made the announcement for next year's WrestleMania. He then follows up with a promo with wanting to speak to Cody Rhodes, and then make your mind up if you want to be my champion. And I'm just like, it's so bizarre, it's so weird. Like, are you a heel Rock? Are you babyface Rock? Like, are you corporate Rock? Like, what are you doing, mate? Like, you are just all over the place. It made no sense. And then, so that's the main event. Um, and John Cena does not naturally feel like a good heel. Like he is all like he just goes on these big long-winded promos making no sense. Like, I'm a human being, he's all mean to me, you're all mean to me, he's all pathetic, blah 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 blah, and I'm making fun of this kid, this wee kid's pathetic. Like, it's not natural for him, and especially with him being so old at now at this stage of his life and his career. It's like it doesn't actually spark, like he doesn't have a natural spark to be a villain. It just doesn't work for him now, and I think they've really pushed it, because if he's going to retire, but he's still going to remain active for the rest of this year until the end of this year, at some point he's going to have to sort of revert back to babyface because he needs to sort of end his career as a babyface. So I think just the whole heel run thing is just not working out. All it's just been is like Cody Rhodes getting beat down. We haven't seen The Rock. Goodbye. And then between Cody and Rock, or just Cody himself, it's just these long-winded promos of like absolute nonsense. And then Cody Rhodes eventually like hits him with a finisher. I'm like, come on, like it's just so bad. Like I remember back in the late 2000s, like rivalries such as Edge versus Undertaker, Triple H versus Randy Orton, those WrestleMania matches, the storylines were brilliant. Like every single week, there was like something dramatic happening, a backstage segment, someone being attacked at the house. Um, this 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 member of a group is being fed to the wolves. Like just always something different, but it doesn't have it. This like for them to the main event WrestleMania this year, they do not have it. They're two artificial corporate guys who are made by the company, and they're just so artificial. Um, I'm not gonna go through every single match. So you have on the Raw side a World Heavyweight Championship match between Gunther and Jey Uso. Right, Gunther is a boring champion. He is absolutely like he puts me to sleep. Like I just think he's a pompous ass prick. He's so full of himself, and he's bringing like classic vintage respect back into the ring. All that fucking shit. Um, no, it's he's for him to actually walk into WrestleMania this year just pretty much shows he's a Triple H guy. Um, he's a Triple H boy. Like, uh, I just don't get that a Gunther and Jey Uso match is something that you would see on a regular Raw show or at a minor event. In fact, it was on a minor event. It was on Saturday night's main event, just before the Royal Rumble this year. Like, it just doesn't make sense to pair them up too. And not only that, there, Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble. He picks Gunther, and then that's not going to be a main event because they're pushing Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins triple threat match as the main event for the first night. What they could have done was actually somehow transfer the title off Gunther and put it onto one of them three, because that has everything to be a world championship. It's a triple threat match. That's going to have excitement, but um, it doesn't really have anything to go for. Roman Reigns for CM Punk, Seth Rollins. That's going to be a brilliant match, but um, they should have actually made that a world championship triple threat. Either CM Punk or Seth Rollins takes it off Gunther at the Chamber there, but they decided to go a different way. But the storyline for Gunther and Jey Uso has been crap. It's been shit and terrible. It's absolutely crap. Um, yeah, there's some good matches here and there. There's some matches that are just sort of thrown in together there, like the Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental Championship match. Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio. That's just a put together match. Don't really care about that. The street fight between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, that has some bit of history, all the way since last year. Fair enough. I'll have some interest in that. Um, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley for night two. That's the women's world championship. That's good. There's some interest there, yeah. But AJ Styles, Logan Paul, don't really care. Uh, the women's tag team championship match, don't really care. Um, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. That's Jacob Fatu's incredible. He is actually, if anything, has a lot more uh, fan base and interest for the fans than Solo Sikoa. I don't know how Solo, being in the main event of SummerSlam last year, then has nothing for WrestleMania this year, to end up having Jacob Fatu in a match other than Solo Sikoa. Don't get that. Maybe in fact Randy Orton, that may be his opponent. Randy Orton for Solo Sikoa, since the Kevin Owens match is scrapped due to an actual real life injury. Um, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. That's Chad Gable. I like the whole Mexican American gimmick going on there. He just wears the mask and he's a different entity with the mask. I think that's kind of fun. Um, Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Storyline was she's been attacked since last fall, and then she just shows up like 5 months later. Like I just don't care about that. Surprised that's actually going to be on WrestleMania. That's yeah yeah, like that's just doesn't make sense that. And also whenever I first saw Jade Cargill attack Naomi, I wasn't too sure who was the heel and who was the babyface because Jade Cargill looked aggressive and Naomi sort of looked like, she's the good one getting beat up. Because if anything, she kind of looked more emotional. Didn't get that. Tag team match for the World Tag Team Championships, the War Raiders. I didn't care about them at all. I have no interest in them versus the New Day. Here's the thing. What have the New Day done since doing that whole 10-year celebration thing with Big E, and then that was like the turning point for them to go heel and go bad. They just end up being a tag team match with these bums. Really? When I say bums, I mean I don't know. They're not bums. They're just on paper that doesn't look like a WrestleMania tag team match. Come on, they can do a lot better than that. What the hell? Come on, right? Um, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the WB Women's Championship. I think Io Sky should have won the Royal Rumble and used that spot to still make the go into the Bianca and Rhea match. I just don't think Charlotte Flair should have just took that Royal Rumble win after being away for over a year, and then she just walks in and has that match. I mean, Tiffany Stratton, like that's just a battle of the bimbos, really. Two of them are just so painful to listen in my ear. Again, I just skip all of this stuff. Um, yeah, so there's 13 matches, and if Randy Orton gets a match, that's 14. So 7 by 7, that'll even out both nights. But do you know what I think? Ever since the first Netflix on Raw uh, show, I think obviously they've had like 3 matches that night because they weren't gonna like last like that. Those 3 matches weren't gonna last for WrestleMania until WrestleMania. They keep that alive, so they had to change things up. You had Roman Reigns for Solo Sikoa, brilliant. You've had CM Punk for Seth Rollins, brilliant. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, all right, but they all actually were enriched with good storytelling, and they should have done Finn Balor versus Damian Priest, but um, the issue with that one was that it showed too many ads, too many advertisements. The Rock was kissing up to Cody Rhodes, how brilliant of a champion you are. But then last year, like you were feuding with him leading up to WrestleMania 40 and beating the shit out of him with a belt, and I'm gonna give this to Mama Rhodes and all this stuff, and stacking the odds against him due to his misuse of power, corporate power. To, oh, I love you, Cody. Me and you are friends, and we're drinking together out backstage, and our mums are friends now, and oh my goodness me, that's just so stupid. Like, because then from that, then to Rock being like, I want to take your soul, Cody. I do not want your belt. I want your soul. You've been a great champion. I've said that like 20 times. You've been a great champion, Cody. You've been great for them, everybody, blah, blah, blah. I think that has shot on, that has affected the WrestleMania card because whenever he did that, and also after he hugged Roman Reigns, that pretty much showed that he wasn't going to do WrestleMania this year, either against Cody or against Roman. And they've obviously had to shuffle around, get Roman Reigns a decent match for the card, and that's why he's been shoehorned into Seth Rollins and CM Punk situation, which will be a brilliant match again. The whole Paul Heyman factor: is he going to be loyal to Roman Reigns or CM Punk? Is Seth going to take advantage of this whole situation? This is all great, but just I think ever since that, it's been pushed to be this big, massive, successful deal. This whole Netflix partnership, but like even weeks after, the ratings have dipped because like the programming and the deliverance on the storytelling, the quality of the storytelling, the quality of the promos have just been dipping, and there's been just matches happening between guys and gals that have no direction. So the WrestleMania season has sort of been just all over the place. And then, oh my goodness me, it's sort of it was pretty bad after the Royal Rumble. It got worse after the Royal Rumble, in fact. And then sort of after Elimination Chamber, it's sort of become okayish. But overall, did it felt like a WrestleMania season lead up to the event itself this year? No, it doesn't. I don't know if I should give Triple H the benefit of doubt because this is kind of his first WrestleMania to be on full hands with, but it doesn't have the same just the same hype, the WrestleMania style hype than in previous years. Now, obviously, they're gonna probably have great display. The big stage at WrestleMania and the lights and the whole Vegas theme. That's all gonna be pretty cool. Maybe it's some like because we're gonna still watch it, right? Like we're not gonna sit up and watch it. We're gonna watch like each night the day after. And that works to our benefit because we can just fast forward all the crap stuff and all this senseless stupid shit and get to the matches and skip all the excessive ads. So that will be pretty good. But they've tried their best. But I would have at least tried to put the bloodline. That's another thing too. The whole Rock situation has affected the bloodline. The bloodline are just sort of floating around on SmackDown. I mean, Thomas, Solo, Jacob. Jacob is facing the LA Knight, but he could do so much better. He can be in a better spot than against the LA Knight. I mean, that match just sort of looks like a put together match. It doesn't really feel like an actual like a match that's enriched with a backstory. I would have put Jacob versus or actually keep them all as a team, and then maybe use the Wyatt Six who are crap and haven't been they've disappeared. The job use them to be jobbers to the bloodline to re-elevate their status, but this is the pro wrestling business. It's part drama and part physical. Yeah, so that's my rant over about WrestleMania this year. I don't really talk about this WWE stuff as much. I keep tabs on it. but I'm not. Am I a crazy, radical fan? Am I absolutely, like, is it my god or anything? No. But usually WrestleMania, I would have been excited. It's like a American football fan being excited for Super Bowl, um, or the casual fans that would still tune in the Super Bowl because it's the biggest um, football event of the year over at the States. But even for a casual fan, like, I would expect WrestleMania to be buzzing, but it just sort of feels doesn't doesn't feel that to be the case from all the points I made. But anyway, I'm gonna smoke the rest of this, and that's my rant over.